I feel like a lot of what you've been telling me is to sit back and relax. Like, I don't know, maybe there are other things that I'm doing that are...
I think maybe what I will translate what you're asking into, because the way I'm talking to you is indeed, I mean, you speak a very cut and dry language, right? You go for the jugular in your language. You want to go straight to the point.
Yes.
And I have not been talking to you like that most of the time. I've been talking to you in a way that I'm trying to actually convey a feeling.
I don't know, she gets mad all the time. She's always mad at something. She's always yelling at something.
You know, anger is rarely a primary emotion, right? Usually anger is like some kind of defense against something else. Feeling humiliated, feeling sad, feeling hurt. You know, people don't like to feel vulnerable, so they put up anger. So your way of avoiding the fighting is to try to minimize interaction.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like you could be offering more and you're withholding maybe because you're resentful or...
Yeah.
So what if when you want to withdraw and minimize interaction, go towards? You hear what Elaine wants from you, right? She wants to spend time with you. Yes.
Yes.
You're laughing because?
I feel like I will do that, right? And I'll do that for 6 days out of the week. That seventh day, if she wants me to do something and I don't want to do it or I can't do it, it's all for naught. And it's just like,
we have to deal with that, and I will help the two of you deal with that.
I don't feel like I want to deal with that anymore.
Oh, I'm here. You can't, that's not, no. No, we're working.
All right.
No out.
Okay.
Stay in. What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
I'm raging.
You're raging? You look sad.
Yeah, that too.
So, what are you sad about?
I'm just tired of feeling like this. And then to hear him say that he's punishing me, like, WTF, right? Like, what?
Oh, I put that word in his mouth.
But I heard it even before you said it, because it's like what you said. Not rewarding is punishing.
Right, but you're taking that to mean that he's punishing
Trying
you.
to hurt you.
But what else do you
hold on.
think it means?
No, but
not
you're
trying to
taking
hurt
it
you.
to mean that you're being punished for wanting Deshaun's company, right?
No, I just feel like I'm trying to force a situation that he doesn't want. He clearly said it.
Wait, you're hearing something that I didn't hear.
That's what I
Help
heard.
Help me understand what you
He
heard.
doesn't want to put the work into that process, right? Like spending the time and going through through that for him is too much effort.
That's not what I heard.
That's what I heard.
No, what I heard is he wants to spend time with you. He wants to make the effort. He is extremely averse to conflict. Do you understand that?
There's no conflict.
Right, but what you have a high tolerance for conflict, energy, anger. Deshaun doesn't. From your point of view, the more you feel like there's anger or criticism coming your way, the more you retreat.
Yes.
And you're saying, if only my partner over there would stop being angry, I could give more.
Yeah.
I would want to please more.
Yes.
Elaine is saying, I want more connection. I want more simple togetherness, doing things together. The more you retreat, the more abandoned, alone, rejected Elaine feels. The more rejected Elaine feels, the more she'll go after you. Gives each of you a pretty clear idea of what you need to do to change that dynamic.
Okay.
How did you feel after last session?
She was upset at me.
She was what?
Upset at me.
When we had left here, like, I didn't feel like he was being supportive. He kind of just, like, brushed it all off. And it feels like almost like he doesn't believe me because he sees my dad in such this wonderful light, like it didn't happen.
Maybe I don't want to see him in that light, you know? Because I have such a good relationship with him. He's going to be in my life for the rest of my life.
But you're saying maybe you're keeping a certain blind spot about him.
I just don't want to see, you know? I just don't want to...
You don't want to see disturbing things.
Yeah. Talking about now, it feels like a disconnection with the dad. And that's what I was afraid of.
But the disconnection is because you're letting information in rather than keeping it outside of yourself.
Yeah. So, see, I am taking it in. I am. But this is what I was afraid of.
I don't want you to feel like
Why
I
are
don't
you
go to my
afraid of
dad's.
this? Will you lose something? You'll lose a certain kind of father figure?
Yes, I would totally, you know, and it's just, I don't want that.
How are you feeling, Tashira?
I'm angry, I'm confused, disappointed. My father, you know, he's never put his hands on me, but just seeing him in that space is very scary.
It's hard to
stay
have
in
your
it.
wife telling you all these things, and then you go to the house, and it's like you have to just do like it never happened.
No, not like it never happened. What if you do like it did happen and you stay in contact?
It's just a different feeling, I guess. I don't know how to explain it because I don't even
It is a
realize it was
different
happening.
feeling because you're letting in information that is not pretty. When people kind of disavow what happened, it leaves you with resentments. In a way, that ultimately comes back into your relationship.
Oh, 100%.
But you don't see yourself as one piece in the whole dynamic.
What do you mean exactly?
Your difficulty opening that door is part of what's going on.
It's more of a like, it wasn't done to me type of thing.
So you can keep it over there.
Not, I guess.
But it's also, it wasn't done to you, but things were done to you. Maybe you also have your own reasons to protect yourself from the knowledge of violence because you've had actually a lot of violence in your life too. This might be a way that you've protected yourself over your life.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I don't see what my parents did as a violent thing. You know, if somebody was to say, you know, did your parents, you know, hurt you physically? You know, my first thing wouldn't say, oh, yeah, I got spanked.
You'd say no.
Yeah, I would say no. I mean, I would say I got spanked if I did something bad or something, but
they
I don't
didn't
really
hurt me
see...
physically. I mean, that's...
I
you're
know.
Not the, I know, I understand this mechanism, but
yeah,
it's...
The registration is just...
Yes, the registration is like you don't give it the full meaning of what's going on.
Yes.
To protect your connection with them, to keep loving them.
And I guess because it only happened when we did something wrong. It didn't happen just to happen. My
Yeah.
dad didn't drink and do it, you know,
Right.
like.
So at least it had some lawfulness to it.
Exactly. It was a
Yeah.
correction, you know. I would feel bad calling it violence. I wouldn't feel right.
So we can call it organized violence, lawful organized violence.
I don't know. It's hard for me to take it in as that.
Does that help you understand something about Drew's difficulty?
Yeah, I mean,
Fully empathizing with
I
you?
understand, and I understand everything that he's saying. He's not letting in the hurt of what happened to him. And now things are okay, so, you know, it's kind of like it didn't really happen or it's not important anymore. I mean, it's a little hurtful to me. Like, he's just living the fun life. He's just watching
And leaving you alone.
and leaving me to deal with it by myself. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it has to do with my wife is talking to me about somebody who hurt her or who's infected her a certain way. And
that person is right in front of you.
yeah, I don't know.
But if you try to be present to what that brings up in you when you're interacting with him, it could be interesting. Not that you have to do anything, but just witness it in yourself.
Yeah, and then what? Feel
Feel whatever comes up.
bad things?
Yeah, feel bad things.
But then that's not being comfortable.
So what?
So why would I put myself in an uncomfortable situation?
Because you want to know reality. And because it's getting in the way of you connecting with Tashira.
As fucked up as my childhood was, you trying to explore that with me has bothered the shit out of me. Like all week, I'm like, what was she trying to get at? It was bothering me that I didn't understand. Like, cause it felt like, you know, there's this thing, the things you know you don't know, and the things you don't know you don't know.
Right.
It sat in a place that I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was driving me crazy. So I'm like
That's
sitting
a
there.
really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
One thing that happens is when there's a very intense thing that gets triggered in the relationship, often it comes not only from what's going on, let's say, between the two of you, but also fueled by things from your past.
Yeah.
And the pain and loneliness that you described, it was such a palpable description. It was so alive the way you described it, that it had a feeling that you're almost like you're channeling something that's way beyond the two of you.
Yeah. You know, something that kept replaying in my head this past week was these very small micro moments throughout my childhood. Like,
Tell me.
I went really long periods of time where my mom and my dad were separating. I couldn't see my dad. And my dad was my best friend. Like, I loved my dad. I looked up to my dad. He was like a superhero to me. Like, if I could be half the father my dad was, like, I want to cry right now thinking about it. But like, if I could be half the father my dad was, I'd be proud of myself. Because my dad, he could have been like any of his peers. My dad grew up in the projects of Brooklyn, and there's many of fathers that just decided not to be in their children's lives, especially in an adversary like my mother. But my dad, by any means, made sure he was in my life. He would sneak me a phone and be like, this is how I'm gonna call you. I'll meet you here at this time. Bring me an Easter basket. You know, like, he would do these things that really meant a lot to me. So when I was able to explore it, it made me realize that feeling of loneliness stems from the moments where I felt like I was being kept from my dad.
I mean, I really appreciate the way you're talking about it and following your own process. And did you also allow yourself to get connected to these feelings of like longing and loneliness and abandonment?
Yeah, I think I don't think I resolved them in the way that, but I think I understood them a bit more. But I think at the same time, I feel justified in what I feel in my relationship. My current relationship with Natasha, like, I feel justified
Well, of course you're justified. Let's say, I don't know, Natasha, I don't know if you have any thoughts about this, how this connects to your dynamic, but
I think if I was to look at it from like a therapy perspective, is that if he is feeling in any way like a parallel with his father, anything that happens between us, I become a parallel to his mother. And that could be really tough to reconcile with, right?
Yeah.
And so it may be really
this
easy to go
might
back
sound
there.
a little strange, but one thought I'm having is that it's almost like, Natasha, you're, by withholding your warmth and intimacy, you're the mom holding back the dad
Oh, yikes.
from Josh. You're holding back the good stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
I could see that connection.
Yeah. And like to be that in any capacity is sort of like shocking. Like I kind of just want to push it away. It's not a comfortable thought to have.
That's really interesting. I feel like another door opened inside my brain. I'm like, okay, I gotta, there's these rooms in my brain and they're like nice and organized and compartmentalized, and like I did all this work in there, and I'm like, oh, like I moved the bookshelf and there's another door, and I'm like, where the fuck did this door come from? And I opened it and it's just fucked up and messy, and I'm like, there's just a little much work to do in there, and that's what it feels like just happened at this very moment. I'm like, yeah.
We've been here a number of times already, and I think that it's kind of been a little bit unfair towards him because we've discussed a lot about, what I don't like in the relationship and the difficulties that I find in like his personality. And I feel like we're painting this picture, which isn't totally accurate, that he has all these faults and he's like this horrible monster and I'm like just like this quintessential perfect little angel, which is really not true because I'm very difficult to deal with. Really,
Wow.
I'm not an easy person.
Wow.
And I was just wondering, and maybe like you had some comments to make to me, if there are things that you think that I'm doing that in how I can alter my behavior that could also make our relationship better. So it's not just all on him.
You're asking her to critique your wifing?
Wait, but first of all,
Way to summarize that.
but I want to ask you, I'm actually stunned. You don't feel like I've been telling you things like that?
I do, but I feel like a lot of what you've been telling me is to sit back and relax. Like, I don't know, maybe there are other things that I'm doing that are...
I think maybe what I will translate what you're asking into, because the way I'm talking to you is indeed, you speak a very cut and dry language, right? You go for the jugular in your language. You want to go straight to the point.
Yes.
And I have not been talking to you like that most of the time. I've been talking to you in a way that I'm trying to actually convey a feeling, which is take 2 hours a day and relax. Rather than say to you, you're overwhelmed with anxiety and you're depriving your husband of the space to become himself. And then you're complaining that he's not showing you who he is.
If that's the thing, if that's what I need to do, just like lay off him.
But lay off him means address your own anxieties as yours. Deal with them as, first of all, your anxieties rather than his doing. So all this like buildup of you getting furious, you then getting indeed revengeful and sadistic, it can leave the two of you. Does that make sense to you?
I had asked him about not having children, and when I would talk to him to seek his opinion, I don't get an opinion. So I feel...
Can I hear the two of you talk about it?
like just... Oh,
Just,
like, for
let's
example,
hear,
what I
let's
would...
hear it. Why don't you try to discuss it now, and I'll listen to what's going on there.
We lead a busy life. My schedule is morning, day, and night.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
what if our schedules were perfect?
If we had normal schedule,
Then would you say
then
you would
if we were
definitively
there for,
want a child?
If we were there for the kid, yes.
To say it fully, yes.
Yes, that will work.
But say something that includes you in it. Yes,
Yes, I would like to have a child with you if we had the perfect schedule.
Well, it's nice to know like how you truly feel about it, because now I am less confused.
Can I ask you, Joey? You're searching very keenly after Rex's wishes, and it's really hard to get a sense of yours.
I've always wanted a child, but as I got older, I didn't want children anymore because of my current situation with my mom, especially because she would remind me not to have children with him,
What would she say?
that the child would die.
Literally, your child will die?
Yes, I don't know if that's what she meant, but
But that's what she said.
correct.
That's a really intense thing to say.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of painful things, and
But it's terribly painful, but also what is going on in her mind?
I don't know. Like,
Do you have a reaction to this?
Like 90% of the things that come off her mouth are like biblical, Christian, like heavy Christian stuff. And that's where she gets all this death. She once told me that she just dropped on the floor and like basically rolled around crying and saying that like you're with him, like over my dead body. And we literally lock our bedroom door thinking she might come in and kill me.
A lot of themes of death. She will die, you're the devil, the baby will die. It's like really intense imagery.
right. I guess even the acknowledgement that someone else thinks that's like extreme is, I feel like I needed to hear that, because, yeah, maybe we just get numbed and desensitized to just hearing it.
But it sounds like it scrambles your ability to connect to what you want.
Right.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I like listening to Joey talk about her mother saying all those things. I just had like a flashback of how I would not want my child to grow up with how my dad treated me.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like those images of my father being always busy, and I'm thinking I'm always busy too, so.
You look so sad.
Well, I'm more sad for Joey,
Mm-hmm.
not myself.
Of course.
Like, this is what I wanted. I just wanted to know how you feel about it. Like, we need to be honest with each other what we want. The more I know how you feel, the more my mom has less power over my decision. It's our decisions.
Let's not use the word decision and just talk about wants.
Okay. Wants.
Like, I want her, right? Body and all,
Oh, I was like, what?
right? But we just don't have any sex. So even bringing up having a baby is like,
How's that even going to happen?
right. Even these days, just running my hand down her body, she would like flick it away every day, months, years.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
I don't know what happened, but I just couldn't. It's gotten to a point where physically, like, actually, like, is very unpleasant. And it hurts. So I've built so much fear around it now,
Yeah.
and I feel terrible, but I don't know how to fix that part yet.
Even without sex for years, I've still remained with Joey.
Yeah.
So that was like a big not sacrifice that I made.
But
and
why
I'm still
wouldn't Joey want a sexual life herself?
Right.
This is not just for you.
Mhm.
I mean, both of you are sacrificing something. Why? Unless your mother is benefiting from this sacrifice somehow.
I don't think so. I guess not having a child in the way that she's getting what she wanted.
Ah, the child is sacrificed.
Yeah. I guess if I know I'm not having any of it, then I'm definitively not going to get pregnant in any way whatsoever.
I see. Really, the child is sacrificed for your mom. That's biblical.
Yeah.